Hello everybody, jwade here once again. It's my second video on my channel here called Broad Discourse. This is actually follow up to last week's where I talked a little bit about Narcan. It's used to revive people who have overdosed on heroin. Kroger had announced that it's going to make Narcan available to the public without a prescription in their pharmacies, and starting in Ohio, Southwest area, CVS in all of Ohio, in their pharmacies, in their stores. So I posed the question, do you guys think that Narcan should be available to the public? And I expressed a concern of mine that I'm thinking that it's very likely, it's extremely possible that people could take this and use it as a reason to continue to use, or maybe even use more, because they know that someone can revive them that's around them. Their buddy has it, or their parents have it while they're sitting up in their room alone, whatever. So I wanted to do follow up this week and give a little more insight to how I feel about it. That's all I did last week was pose the questions. So first and foremost, obviously medical places, hospitals, urgent cares, they should all have it. I'm sure they do. That's a given. I also think that fire and rescue should all have it, as well as EMTs and police officers, which many of them I'm sure do. However, I think that they should be certified in use of that. Everyone in those fields should have to be certified in use. And I bring that up because I saw a video of a police officer who did a great job in reviving someone who had overdosed on heroin. But when he arrived on the scene, he had to dig through his trunk to get the kit out of his trunk. When he got in, he was fumbling around the instructions, trying to figure out how to put it all together. A couple minutes into it, he had to ask one of the people who was in the home there to read him the instructions to make sure he's doing it right. Now, I'm not faulting him, but they should all be certified, meaning they practice it and they know how to do it. I don't think that's too much to ask at all. So obviously, the fire, rescue, EMTs, police officers, of course, but especially the police officers, I don't think it should be in their trunk. They should be required to carry it on their person. Now let me get into the public aspect of it. I want to start with schools. I was thinking about this, if it's available to the public, who else would it be available to? Who should it be available to? And I had read an article of a company they say they're going to supply Narcan to high schools throughout the country. I actually don't have a problem with that. I would like to see one kit per classroom, and in the administration's offices, the front offices for the principal and whoever else. Now, every staff member, teacher, should be certified, and every administration member should be certified to use this. We don't need them fumbling around either. These are our kids here. These aren't grown adults who, no offense, but they make choices, they make decisions. Not to say they should wait, but if anyone's going to have to wait due to not knowing how to use this to help people, it should be the adults who should know better than to use these drugs in the first place. Now, as far as the public over the counter without a prescription, I still am concerned about the thinking of, I can get away with doing a little bit more, or I don't need to let up, I don't need help. What is the incentive for people to stop if there's a cure, not a cure, the totally wrong word, but if there's something that can revive them and help them that's available to them on the scene and they know is there? There's no deterrent there. And not to be harsh, but people aren't going to get help unless they want help. If they're using, they don't want help. And I'm concerned about that aspect of it. But it is going to be available to the public. I do think it's a good thing that lives can be saved. I still want to get to the root of the issues and really solve the problems, not just putting a Band-Aid on it, which is what Narcan is. Yeah, I guess that's really about it. I want to see the numbers. I want to see the stats. Once the ball gets rolling on this, I want to see if the overdose numbers have gone up, gone down, held steady. Then I'll form more of an opinion on whether or not I think it should be available to the public without a prescription. So that's my thoughts again. I'd love to hear from you guys. Why it's called Broad Discourse. I want to get conversation going. Give me your opinions, thoughts, stories, anything you'd like to say. I would love to hear it. So thank you all very much. Have a great night.